notes tonight for you, and I'm going to start with Chapter 8, Don't Listen to the Well-Meaning Morons, the 1001 Things We're All Doing Wrong. You're pregnant? When are you guys moving home, and will it be Dallas, Kansas, or Australia? Said by a Midwestern transplant who always shuddered at the idea of anyone raising kids in the city, and who has since moved to Indiana. You might not like the city, pal, but it is home for us. We wouldn't dream of leaving. Hi.
Hi. Bethany, hi there.
Okay, daughter and no sons. Well, honestly, your daughter sounds boring. I wouldn't want my sons to date her. You're not bringing that in here, are you? Said by a snarling host at a normally child-friendly restaurant. If by that you mean the stroller, no, I'm going to fold it up and put it in the coat check. If you mean the baby, perhaps you should work somewhere else. I know in the city particularly there are lots of people who don't like kids and think the stroller brigade has taken over the neighborhood, but all I want is a bowl of pasta. I promise I won't show you my breasts.
She sifted through the acronyms, DCs for darling children, DS and DD, darling son, darling daughter, CIO, cry it out, and so on. She was shocked to see the aggression put forth. One poster asked a seemingly innocuous question about formula and mentioned in her post that she did not want to breastfeed. Immediately, several people responded that she was a horrible mother for not wanting to breastfeed to nurse, and she should have her children taken away from her. Huh? I thought people would use these sites to get support, but no. Case in point, one comment, I'm a stay-at-home dad and need advice. When did you toss the pacifier? Response number 1, stay-at-home dads are pathetic. Response number 2, 6 months, loser. If you stay home, why did you know that? Response number 3, if you don't know that, time to man up and get a job. 6 months later, come on people, that's just rude. There's lots of discussion about crying it out, the process of leaving your child in the crib to settle themselves, usually throughout the night, but sometimes during naps too. Let me jump ahead. These forums most seem to satisfy the insecure mum, IM, or occasionally the dear husband, DH, who gladly attack the original poster, OP, as a way to make them feel better about their own deficiencies and insecurities as parents. I am amazed at the number of seemingly intelligent moms who populate these sites, and the vitriol that they happily unleash on fellow moms. They say that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, whereas for the 21st century, surely hell no longer hath fury, as it's all been held.
My children and husband adore me, and I can do no wrong. Look up Mommylicious in the dictionary and you will see a photo of me in a ball gown, breastfeeding an infant while making ossobuco and directing carpenters to build a bookcase for my Dickens and my lamps while teaching the boys calculus. And if you believe that, please email me your savings account information and password so that I can wire you $10 million from the central bank of a developing country.
I am not sitting on a hassock in the living room, no ma'am. I'm lurking in your closet trying all those fabulous Cavalli ball gowns that I bought me, while I add an E to the end of my first name and try to seduce every one of your friends' husbands. Well, everyone except Mario, that is.
On that note, I think I'm a little tired of reading, so I'm going to open it up to questions. Anyone? Yes? How did we get selected to be on the show?
You drew the short straw.
No. This was a process that actually started back in the summer of 2006. We knew a lot of people that worked in production, and we'd heard that this show was being formulated. And then shortly after we'd heard all the rumblings, we saw an ad, we submitted for it. They called us from LA, they made a tape. It took about 18 months before the show got fully put together, and then we kind of just said, do we really want to do this? Do we really not? And ultimately we said, what the heck, and we did it. No, I didn't. We knew a lot of the same people. There were so many people, there's sort of 1 degree of separation between us and everyone else, but I didn't know any of them directly.
2 weeks ago with Johan, who's in preschool, and his teacher had just finally watched an episode of the show. She hadn't seen it before, and she goes, well, how does it affect Johan? You know, does he get used to the cameras in the house? And I said, they've been there since he was 1. It's normal for him. I mean, that sounds bizarre, but for 3 months of the year, every year since he was 1.
That you might be surprised by is that we've actually used it as a teaching tool for them. There was a scene in the first season of a dinner party where the kids were overtired and, crazy.
Was your reminded 2 hours late that night?
Oh, well, you know what? Whether she was or whether she wasn't, what I did is I played that for Francois, and I said, look, do you see? Do you see how bad they made you look?
I mean, we are both somewhat intelligent people, although we did sign up to do a TV show. so you could question that. But it was to sit down and write, because the art of writing is in many respects is dying. You know, I crank out emails and my syntax gets scrambled, my spelling is awful and so on. So to sit down and write prose was a really, really good exercise. And I've actually seen that this year my blogs for bravo.tv.com, when we also post on our website, have got better from sitting down. I mean, Alex and I would sit down and write, and then we spent one weekend where we read the story out, we read the whole book to each other 3 times out aloud.
Thank you all very much for coming this evening. Thank you to Alex and Simon
Darlings,
for being
welcome
here.
back to Cognac's Corner. I'm here with Alex McCord and Simon Van Kempen, and they're very, 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 very happy with their new book. I could see it in their faces. Congratulations, darlings.
Thank you so
Congratulations for a beautiful book, Little Kids, Big City. Tell my audience, where is your next appearance going to be?
We will be at the Park Slope Barnes & Noble on Saturday the 10th. We'll be in Cherry Hill, New Jersey on the 11th, Clifton, New Jersey on the 12th. We then go to LA, and viewers can go to McCordVanKempen.com to find out all of the book tour dates.
Because we're in LA, Dallas, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, Tampa. We're going all over the country this month. So
What about outside of the country?
We haven't done anything outside the country yet, but I
Canada
know...
is begging. Canada are desperate for us to get up there.
And also Australia. So what we may do is we may go back to time it with season 3 airing there.
That sounds fabulous. Fabulous, darlings. Fabulous. You going to give me a kiss goodbye?
Absolutely, my dear.
I said cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. This has been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.